Hello guys, and welcome to sunny side Bolgatanga, the northern part of Ghana. It is extremely hot, and as you can see, the sun is out in all of its glory, and we are making soup outside today. I just wanted to show you this. Okay, so let's get on to our actual soup making. Today we are making the milk soup using milk powder. I'm told this is goat milk. I've seen goat milk in a different one or different versions of goat. I don't particularly like this one, but I'm going to use it just for this soup. And so let's get going. So as the usual, prepping using ice cubes, and then some water, and then you mix in your lye, and then you stir thoroughly, and then it dissolves, and then you use it to make your soap. So the usual prepping for those of you who are familiar with the soap making journey. It's as simple as this. Okay, so as I do this, there are a lot of things going on in the background. There's music, loud music actually, and there's a lot of animal noise and stuff like that, which makes soaping outside quite fun. So yeah, because of the ice cubes, kindly stir this thoroughly when you're making your soup. Make sure that it's thoroughly dissolved, or stir it such that it doesn't settle at the base of your jar or your beaker. That's very important. So you just heard the animals in the background. You listen to the music in the background as well. Let me stop here before I get a copyright claim. But I love this song. And then we are making our soap. We are getting some fresh air. We are enjoying it. I think that making soap outside is going to be, that's how I'm going to be making soap going forward these days. And yeah, if you'd like to see more of rural Ghana, let me know. I can take you around my neighborhood or where I buy my supplies and stuff like that. So let me also just mention that this soap has a lot of learnings in it. Number one, we'll be learning how to make a general milk soap using the milk powder. And then number two, we will be learning this whole gelling phase and its effects on soap, especially milk soap. I don't know if then this is particularly for new soap makers, in case you have heard something called gel phase, or people who make soap and then they put it in an oven. They heat the oven a little bit and put the soap in the oven just so it heats up a little bit and it gels and gives this vibrant color to their soap or something like that. That's there. And if you do that for your milk soap, you understand that. You also understand the whole milk or the dairy in the soap and the sugars in it, how it plays a role in extremely heating your soap up. And so you need to be careful in that context. And so sometimes people who make milk soap tend to pop it into the fridge when they are done, so that the temperature cools down and they get a certain color that they would like, instead of letting it go through the gel phase. And then finally, we are testing out some 2 new fragrances, and so I'll also show you how they perform in this soap. I got a call from a local supplier that she has some fragrances, and these days I like to buy the fragrances in liters. And since the local suppliers really do not have all the information that you need, sometimes the basics they have is the usage rates as to whether what is contained in it, and whether it's how it works or reacts with soap and other things they do not know. So you would have to test them out yourself to know whether it's good enough or not. It's not enough for it to smell great. It needs to be able to work very well with your soap, and sometimes also needs to be able to work very well with other fragrances. So that's my first testing of these 2 fragrances, and we'll also see how that goes. Right, so these are my butters. The weather is extremely hot, so they already are melting in their own. And then I'm using the heat transfer method. I think I've used it in a number of videos by now, so if you've watched some of our videos, then you would have seen me using the heat transfer method. It's basically, once your lye is properly dissolved, you pour it into your batters. So if your soap, in making your soap, you have hard batters or solid batters, and then you have your oils, you measure your solid batters differently from your liquid oils, so that you pour the dissolved lye water into your hard batters, then you stir it, and then it melts it before you now pour in your liquid oils. So basically that is it. I say it's very good for people who want to make intricate designs and stuff, people who use micas and stuff. This will be a very good method to make your soap. You don't have to immediately stick blend it. It's fluid for quite some time before you can go on with other things, and so this is very good. So I'm mixing my milk now. So I'm mixing my milk with water and not oil. Fortunately, milk is water soluble and then oil soluble too, I guess. Yeah, so you can mix it in with whichever way you prefer. Let me also add that this recipe is the same as the cow milk soap recipe. So if you haven't watched how to make the cow milk, where we use fresh cow milk, I'll link that up somewhere, so you'll have a look at that. The recipe is the same, and then generally we make this soap for people with sensitive skin. So if you have sensitive skin, normal to sensitive skin, you want something mild, not too harsh, then this is perfect for you. Yeah, so that's what we are doing. So I've just poured in the liquid oils into the well melted hard oils, the ones that we mixed with the lye water, and as you can see, it's quite fluid. It's like oily. You can work with this for quite some time, and then you can get to add other products to it. So I'm going to add the dissolved milk to this, and then stick blend it. Another thing that I forgot to do when I was prepping was the fact that my porch or my veranda area doesn't have a source of light, and so in stick blending I had to now move it from where I'm making the soap to another area to sort of stick blend it and bring it back. So you soon see that the locations have changed a little bit, but I think that's quite normal. So that's what you are likely to see happen. So you see that I had to move it to a different place. At this place the sun is really scorchy, but it gives quite a nice it gives you an appreciation of the actual colors that we are working with, because this is out here in the sun. So we stick blend our milk soap, and you see the butter is fluid and it's beautiful, and I can now begin to test out my fragrances, and then we can proceed to do other stuff. So let's go back to where we were making the soap. Okay, so we're back here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour them out. So another thing is that she didn't really have a proper name for the fragrances. She said one was mixed fruity and the other one was fruity. I don't even know what that means. So it's made locally here by a company that makes fragrances. So I just labeled them fragrance 1, fragrance 2, and then we'll test it out and see. So I'll measure them out and then be able to determine the quantity of the fragrance that I'll be using. Okay, so this one we are starting off, I think, with fragrance 1. This is the fruity. Yeah, it does smell great. It smells very nice. So yeah, that's fragrance 1. It smells really nice. So I'm gonna measure that in and then see how this behaves in this soap butter. Okay. Okay, so far so good. It's not accelerating. I don't see any clumps or any lumps. It's still fluid. So this is a good fragrance that we can work with. It's okay. this is okay. It hasn't discolored our soap or anything like that, and it's still quite very fluid. So this is nice. This is a soap that I can work. This is a fragrance that I can work with. Okay, so that's nice. Now okay, now let's test our second batter, which is our second fragrance rather. This one is fragrance 2. That's how I labeled it, just so I can be able to differentiate, and then I hope this one works well too. Okay, so we are mixing this in, and this is starting to thicken up quite fast. Okay, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good. Okay, so that's already thickening up too fast. So I have to pour it in, and there are also some clumps. Okay, no, so there are some lumps. It's already starting to lump up. So fragrance 2 is a no, and so we're gonna stick with fragrance 1. It smells amazing though, but no. I don't have. I've decided not to work with fragrances that are this troublesome anymore. Nope. Okay, so based on the tests, we'll work a lot more with fragrance 1 than with fragrance 2. It smells good though, but no, it smells really nice. Okay, so we are doing the last bit of it. I'll just start with the first fragrance, and then mix that in, and then use that. Oops. So look at the difference. That's fragrance 1, and now look at fragrance 2. Nah, that's not. So if you're a beginner, you really have to be careful with your choice of fragrance. It will go a long way to either make or break your soap. And soap making, the ingredients you use, some are expensive, especially your fragrances, so you need to be sure that you are getting the right one so that you don't mess yourself up. So that's something that we should all be mindful of. If you have small molds, usually it's best to use those to test out your soap, and then before you don't have to do 1 kilogram batch like I did to test out a fragrance. Just do small, maybe sometimes 100 kg. Did I say 100 kg? 100 grams, and then you test that out. But at this point, I have my troubleshooting techniques for fragrance issues. So I think based on that, I'm quite fragrance 1, simple, easy, nothing really. And fragrance 2, even just trying to put some small texture on top, just that alone in itself was a struggle. And it's so lumpy, like there are lumps in it. It's not smooth at all. It's not smooth. It's grainy. It's very grainy. You can't see from here, but it's extremely grainy. So this is what pushed me to let it go through the gel phase. And because milk soap contains milk and then sugars, it sort of heats up. Once you pour it, the soap heats up in the mold, much more than your normal soaps. So for people who know this, what they do is, to avoid the overheating, you try and get a cooler place to put it. The other way around is, if you want to gel your soap, then you put it in a space where there's heat, so that it heats up and then it gels up. Okay, so it gives this jelly texture to it. So I decided to leave my weather is extremely hot and I do not have space in my fridge, so I left mine out, and then as you can see, it has gelled, and the little shake it is pouring, that's the gel. So this milk soap has gelled, or is going through the gelling phase. You can see that jelly thing at the end over there, and it's becoming brown. So that's the disadvantage of gelling your milk soap, is that it gives, well, if you prefer that, that's also fine, but it gives this caramel texture to your soap. Starts looking like it's a bit burnt or something like that. The milk has been burnt or something like that. That's what the gelling of the milk soap does to your soap. If this was a red mica soap that has gelled, this color would have been a lot more vibrant, a lot more beautiful, and also pop. But because these are natural colorings or additives, that's what it does to it. So I'll show you this. So this is how it looks, and then I'll show you one that didn't go through the gel phase. That I poured it in the individual molds, just smaller ones, a little bit, and because they were small, there was no overheating because there's air. The surface area is quite is a large, yeah, and then we had air passing through it immediately, and so it cooled down quite fast. No heating there, and so it maintained that creamy color you would expect the milk soap to have. And then this other batch gives you this caramelly color, which is also beautiful. So basically that is it for the milk soap. I just wanted to show you these, and I'm still soaping outside. I'm cutting this outside, and today the sun is actually much more hotter than 2 days ago. I had to let this soap set for 48 hours. Another thing about this recipe is that it's extremely soft, and because it's a milk soap, after 24 hours this soap is still soft, and if you're on molding, you might not get it the way you want. So I usually leave it for 2 days, and after 2 days the sun is extremely hot and there's not much I could do. So I still cut this outside, and then yep. Okay, so this is the other one that didn't go through the gel phase, and as you can see, it has that whitish to off-white cream color that you would expect from your milk soap. And then the one that went through the gel phase has this other brownish to caramel color that the gel phase brings. That's all for today. That's all. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, kindly do so. We really appreciate this. If you've learned a lot from this, like and share with your friends and colleagues. So until next time again, from sunny Sun Ghana, have a lovely day. Bye bye.